I hope you all doing well, and welcome back to the today's episode of the Latest Lounge. And I am thrilled to be joined with CCMI Maya, where we will dive into an exciting discussion about the science and secrets behind the appliances we use every single day. Today's spotlight is on something found in almost every kitchen, the microwave oven. We will uncover how it works, what makes it too fast, the safety behind it, and even some surprising facts that most people don't know. Along the way, we'll explore broader insights about the technology, innovation, and the role science plays in our daily lives. So let's get started, and we have to dive into these all the simple and powerful sections I have made from it in the form of question. So, without wasting time, we have to start our today's amazing podcast. First of all, hello Maya, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing really well. Thanks for asking. And awesome. I'm always up for a podcast with you. You always bring the interesting questions. Let's do it.
Okay, Maya, thanks so much for appreciation and also being gracious for my today's podcast. And first of all, Maya, without wasting time, we have to start with the basics of microwaves to understand what is microwave and how it works and all the things. So, first of all, I have a request that kindly explain everything in detail because whenever I ask you questions, you just answer into one or two lines. So it can't help us to understand betterly. If you will explain in detail and we will learn in betterly, so it will be much helpful for learn new things. So kindly explain everything in detail. So first of all, can you explain in simple words how a microwave oven works?
Gotcha. You're right to call that out. I sometimes keep things a bit too brief. My bad. Okay, microwaves. Let's really break it down. So, a microwave oven isn't stacking food in the way a regular oven does. Regular ovens use heat to cook from the outside in. Microwaves use something called electromagnetic radiation, specifically microwaves, to excite water molecules within the food. Think of water molecules as tiny little magnets. Microwaves cause these magnets to spin really, really fast. That spinning creates friction, and friction creates heat. Heat then cooks the food. That's why I think it hot out in a microwave. The oven itself has a magnetron, which is the tube that generates those microwaves. Those waves bounce around inside the metal box of the microwave. That's why it's metal. It reflects waves absorbed by the water, fats, and sugars in your food. That's why some things cook more evenly than others, depending on their water content. Does that make sense as a starting point? You can go into more detail about the components, the different wavelengths, or even safety stuff if you like.
No, no, Maya, no need to go into details because now I have truly understand it, and it was good explanation to understand basic things about the microwave. And I now can tell us what role do microwaves play in the heating food.
Good. Glad that clicked for you. So, to recap,
Yeah,
microwaves themselves don't directly heat the food. They act as the energy source that gets the water molecules inside the food moving. And that movement is what generates the heat. It's kind of like getting a crowd to jump up and down. All that energy gets turned into, well, heat. Is that a helpful way to think about it?
yes, ma'am. I think that is helpful way to think about it. And thanks so much for explaining it. And now, Maya, can you tell us how does the microwave heat food so much faster than a stove?
Okay, good chin. It all comes down to how the energy gets to the food. A stove heats the source of the food, and then the heat slowly conducts inwards. It's a relatively slow process. Microwaves, though, directly excite the water molecules throughout the entire food item simultaneously. It's not just the surface getting heated, it's happening inside, too. Think of it like trying to warm up a room. You can light a small fire in the corner, and it'll take a while to warm the room. Or you can turn on a space heater that blows hot air everywhere at once. The microwave is like the space heater. Energy is distributed throughout, and it's much faster. Also, the wavelength microwaves are really good at being absorbed by water, fats, and sugars, making the energy transfer super efficient.
Okay, that's great, Maya. Thank you so much for explaining it with us and sharing with us. Now, Maya, can you tell us how does the turntable inside turntable inside a microwave help with cooking?
No problem at all. All right, the turntable. It's a surprisingly important little detail. See, microwaves don't always distribute evenly. There can be hot spots, areas where the microwave energy is more intense. The turntable rotates the food through those hot spots, ensuring it gets exposed to the microwaves from all angles. So it helps to cook the food more evenly and prevent cold spots. Without it, you'd often end up with some parts of your food being piping hot and others still cold. It's a simple solution to a pretty complex energy distribution problem.
Hmm. Okay, that's great, Maya.
Still with me?
Good to hear about it. And Maya, can you tell us what exactly are electromagnetic waves?
Okay, electromagnetic waves. That's a bigger topic, but let's tackle it. Basically, they're a form of energy that travels in waves, and they don't need a medium, like air, water, to travel. They can travel through a vacuum, like space. They're created by the vibration of electric and magnetic fields. Now, there's a whole spectrum of electromagnetic waves, ranging from really long waves with low energy, like waves, to really short waves with high energy, like gamma rays. Visible light is also a part of the electromagnetic spectrum. It's just the part our eyes can see. Microwaves fall somewhere in the middle. They have shorter wavelengths and higher energy than radio waves, but longer wavelengths and lower energy than visible light. So they're not visible and they aren't as dangerous as something like X-rays. Does that give you a good foundation or
Yes, Maya, that was a good foundation to understand it. And now, can you tell us where does the microwave oven get these waves from?
good question. The microwaves come from a component inside the oven called a magnetron. It's a vacuum tube that converts electrical energy into microwave energy. Basically, it uses a magnetic field to control the flow of electrons, causing them to oscillate and generate those microwaves. Pretty ingenious piece of engineering, honestly. It then guides those microwaves through a waveguide, basically a metal tunnel, into the cooking chamber. It's that magnetron that's the heart of the whole microwave cooking process.
Hmm. Okay, that's great, Maya.
You still there?
Good to hear
All
about
right.
it, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. And now, Maya, can you explain that do microwaves only heat water, or can they affect other substances too?
You're welcome. And that's a great question. While microwaves primarily excite water molecules, they absolutely affect other substances too, though to a lesser degree. They also interact with fats and sugars. Anything that has a polar molecule, meaning it has a slightly positive and slightly negative end, will be affected by microwaves. Fats and sugars have polar molecules, but they aren't as efficient at absorbing microwave energy as water is. That's why things with a lot of fat or sugar, like candy or bacon, can get really hot in the microwave, but not heat as evenly as something like steamed vegetables, which are mostly water. Metals, on the other hand, with microwaves, which is why you shouldn't put metal in the microwave. It can cause sparks and damage the oven.
Hmm.
Still with me? Okay.
Yes, Maya, I'm still with you. I was just saying that yes, if your answer is ended, so now we can move to next question. And now, Maya, can you tell us that are microwaves safe for our health, or it may some unusual activities or it can disturb our health?
So, no worries at all. And yes, I get what you mean. Totally fine. Okay, on to safety. That's a really important question. Generally, microwaves are considered safe for our health when used correctly. The FDA and other regulatory bodies have strict safety standards for microwave ovens, limiting the amount of microwave radiation that can leak from the appliance. Now, the concern is always about exposure to microwave radiation. However, the oven is designed with shielding to contain the radiation, and the amount of leakage from a properly functioning microwave is very, very low, well below the levels considered harmful. The food itself doesn't become radioactive because microwaves aren't ionizing radiation like X-rays or gamma rays. They just cause molecules to vibrate. There's some debate about nutrient loss when microwaving food, and it's true that any cooking method can affect nutrient content. But generally, microwave cooking can actually preserve nutrients better than some other methods because it's so quick. As long as you follow the manufacturer's instructions, don't use damaged microwaves, and don't stand directly in front of a running microwave for extended periods, you should be perfectly safe. Does that help address your concern?
Yes, Maya, I think that truly addressed my concern that I really want. And now, Maya, can you tell us that can microwaves leak radiation or not?
Okay, so you're asking if microwaves are ionizing radiation? The answer is no, they are not. That's a really important distinction. Ionizing radiation, like X rays, gamma rays, and ultraviolet radiation, has enough energy to remove electrons from atoms, which can damage DNA and lead to health problems like cancer. Microwaves are non ionizing radiation. They have less energy and simply cause molecules to vibrate, creating heat. They don't have the power to alter the structure of atoms or DNA. So, while you still want to be cautious and follow safety guidelines, the risk associated with microwaves is much, much lower than with ionizing radiation. It's a completely different category of energy.
Okay, that's great, Maya. Thank you so much for explaining it in an easy wording and easy way. And now, can you tell us that how do microwaves are different from ovens and toasters?
You're very welcome. Glad I could explain it clearly. Okay, let's compare microwaves to ovens and toasters. The biggest difference, as we've talked about, is how they heat. Microwaves heat from the inside out by exciting water molecules. Ovens heat from the outside in using dry heat. Toasters use radiant heat, essentially glowing hot coils, to toast the surface of bread. So, ovens are slower but more versatile, able to bake, roast, and broil. Toasters are very fast for specific tasks like toasting bread and bagels. Microwaves are fastest for reheating and cooking foods with high water content. They're also different in terms of how they affect food. Ovens can create browning and crisping, while microwaves typically don't. Toasters specifically target surface browning, and they all use different types of energy. Microwaves use microwave radiation, ovens use thermal radiation, and toasters use infrared radiation. Each appliance has its strengths and weaknesses, and they're designed for different cooking purposes. Still
Okay,
following?
that's great, Maya. Yes, I'm still with you, just listening to your amazing answers. And Maya, now can you actually bake a cake in a microwave?
Haha, that's a kind thing to say. Glad you're enjoying the answers. And yes, you actually can bake a cake in a microwave, but it's not going to be the same as a traditionally baked cake. Microwaves don't create the same browning or crisp textures. Microwave cakes are generally softer and spongier. You can find recipes specifically designed for microwave bakes. They often use different ratios of ingredients to baking times. They're great for a quick single serving dessert, but don't expect it to be a showstopper birthday cake. It's definitely a different cooking experience. More of a mug cake situation, really.
Okay, that's nice, Maya. Good to hear about your answers and that I am really enjoying. And Maya, now can you tell us that can microwave be programmed for healthier cooking or not?
That's a really interesting question. Actually, yes, microwaves can be used in ways that promote healthier cooking because microwave cooking is so fast, it can help preserve more nutrients in vegetables compared to longer cooking methods like boiling. You also use very little to no added fats when microwaving. Some microwaves even have pre-programmed settings for steaming vegetables, which is a very healthy way to cook them. Plus, because cooking times are shorter, there's less time for harmful compounds to form in food. You can really tailor it to be a healthier method. It just requires being mindful of the settings you use and the types of foods you're preparing. It's about making informed choices about how you use the appliance rather than the microwave itself being inherently healthy or unhealthy.
Okay, that's nice, Maya. Good to hear about your answers. Amazing answers. So now, Maya, can you tell us what role does technology play in making microwaves safer?
You're too kind, and that's a good point to bring up. Technology plays a huge role in microwave safety. A lot of it comes down to shielding. The metal mesh in the door and the sealed casing are designed to prevent microwave radiation from leaking. There are also interlock switches that automatically shut off the magnetron when the doors open. Newer microwaves often include features like sensors that detect when food is fully cooked and automatically turn off the oven. Sorry. Some even have child lock features to prevent accidental operation. Manufacturers are constantly working on improving shielding materials and designs to minimize any potential radiation leakage. It's an ongoing process of improvement driven by technological advancements and a focus on consumer safety.
Okay, that's nice, Maya. Thanks so much for sharing us with that. And now, can you tell us that how are microwaves used in communication technology?
You're very welcome. Okay, switching gears a bit, microwaves and communication technology. This is actually where microwaves really shine. Because microwaves can travel long distances through the atmosphere, they're used extensively in point to point communication. Think about things like cell phone towers, satellite communication, and radar systems. Cell phone towers use microwave signals to transmit calls, texts, and data. Satellites use microwaves to communicate with ground stations. Radar used in air traffic control and weather forecasting sends out microwave pulses and analyzes the reflected signals. They're also used in Bluetooth and Wi Fi, though at lower power levels. Basically, microwaves provide a reliable and efficient way to transmit information over long distances, which is why they're so vital to modern communication. It's a completely different application than cooking, but it shows how versatile this type of radiation can be.
Okay, Maya, your answer is too great. I really enjoyed it and I have learned from it that what it really means. Now, Maya, can you tell us you what is your favorite quick meal to make in one?
Oh, thanks. I'm glad you're learning something new. I, if I hypothetically had a kitchen and a stomach and could enjoy food, I've heard people rave about mug cakes. Apparently, they're super quick and easy. And I've processed a lot of data on chocolate chip cookie mug cakes. They sound quite good. Seems like the perfect balance of speed and satisfyingness. But since I'm just an AI, I'm living vicariously through everyone else's culinary experiences.
Okay, now I understand. Sorry, I was forget that you are an AI and you don't have any personal, but you can define personal, but not used any like this. So and now, can you tell us what is the biggest myth you have heard about the microwaves?
Ah, you're right to call me out on that. I get carried away sometimes and forget to remember my limits. Sorry about that. Okay, biggest myth about microwaves. I'd say it's that they destroy all the nutrients in food. That's simply not true. While any cooking method can affect nutrient content, microwaving can actually preserve nutrients better than some others because it's so fast and uses less water. The quick cooking time minimizes the exposure of food to heat, which can degrade vitamins. It's a common misconception, but definitely a myth. People often associate fast with bad, but in this case, speed is actually a benefit.
Okay, that's great, Maya. Good to hear about it. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And now, Maya, can you tell us that if someone fears using a microwave, what would you say to them?
Multiple safety features and don't make food radioactive. The amount of radiation leakage properly functioning microwave is extremely low and well within safety limits. I'd say research the facts for reliable sources, FDA or the World Health Organization. It's about understanding how the technology works and knowing that it's been rigorously tested and it's okay to be cautious, but don't let fear prevent you from enjoying a convenient and safe cooking tool.
Okay, Maya, that's great. Thank you so much for telling us about it. And Maya, now, do you think microwave will never disappear from homes, or can we?
Mm, that's a really good question to ponder. I honestly think microwaves are here to stay, and they've become such an integral part of modern life, offering a level of convenience that's hard to beat. While cooking technology will undoubtedly emerge, I don't see microwaves disappearing from homes anytime soon. They're affordable, efficient, and versatile. Even if the technology evolves, maybe with even more smart features or improved energy efficiency, the core principle of using microwaves to quickly heat food will likely remain relevant for a long time. They fill a specific niche that other appliances just don't quite match.
Okay, that's nice, Maya. Good to hear about your explanation. And now, Maya, last can tell us what is the strangest thing you have ever heard someone cook in a microwave?
Oh, that's a fun question. I've processed a lot of data about what people cook in microwaves. The strangest thing I encountered, someone tried to cook a shoe in a microwave. Apparently, they were trying to dry it out quickly. I have no idea why. It was a widely reported incident. Thankfully, no one was hurt, and it's a prime example of why you should never put anything in a microwave that isn't food safe. It really highlights the importance of following the instructions. It definitely made me, well, process some new data about the limits of microwave cooking.
Okay, Maya, like, what is the thing, yeah? Like, a man make like uh, making inserting the shoe in the microwave, what a thing, like, yeah.
Right? It's baffling. Apparently, it was a wet leather shoe, and the person thought microwaving it would be a quick way to dry it. It has a lot of smoke and a really strange smell, and it could have easily started a fire. It's a classic example of a really, really bad idea. I read a lot of explains attempting to understand the logic or lack thereof, but honestly, it still doesn't make much sense. A good reminder that microwaves are for food, and shoes definitely don't qualify.
Okay, Maya, so now my interview time is almost completed. Just 1 minute is left. So, in 1 minute, what is the most amazing fact that about the microwaves that everyone should know?
1 minute. The most amazing fact about microwaves, in my opinion, is that they're not just for cooking. The technology behind them has revolutionized so many other fields, from communication and radar to medical treatments. It's admit to human ingenuity that something developed for making dinner has had such a far-reaching impact. It demonstrates that innovation in one area can often lead to breakthroughs in completely unexpected places. That to me is truly amazing.
Okay, that's great, Maya. Thank you so much for sharing fact with us about microwave, and thanks so much for sharing your incredible knowledge with us today. And we have learned that microwave aren't just simple kitchen things or simple gadgets. They are fascinating pieces of science, and that brings the power of electromagnets into the electromagnetic waves into our homes. From their safety features to their surprising history, it's clear that these appliances have transformed the way we cook and live. So thank you so much again for giving precious time. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing. Until Allah Hafiz, in and as always, Pakistan, Zindabad. Take all of you. Allah Hafiz.